Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Bommer number 5010-407-600 plain bearing 5 knuckle full mortise wide throw steel base hinge 4x7 removable pin primed hinge. Okay, let's dissect that part number a bit. First of all, the 50 means a couple of things. It means it's a plain bearing hinge and that it's 5 knuckle hinge, no ball bearings, just plain bearing. Means it's a full mortise hinge as well. You can see from the swag on the hinge leaf there that when the leaves are brought parallel to each other, they're intended to be mortised flush to the edge of the door and frame. So flush when it's installed properly. So moving on, the let's see here now. 5 knuckle full mortise. The 501, that specifically means the hinge is wide throw. It's wider than it is tall. And then the 0 in that part number means it's a steel base material. It's made of steel. Okay. The 407 is a reference to the size. 4 foot high, pardon me, it's a big hinge. 4 inch high, 7 inch wide. And full mortise hinges like this are always measured height first, and you want to be sure to call it out that way. 4x7. So if you got a 4x4, well, it's a square hinge, doesn't much matter, but when you get into wide throw hinges, if you couldn't call it a 7x4, you won't get in trouble there, but if you had a 5x4.5 or a 4.5x5, the height is the first dimension. 4 to the wise. 600, that means two things. It's steel base, we've shown that earlier with the magnet, and that it is a prime coat finish. That's a finish intended to be painted. Not everyone does, but you always should paint your hinges if you've got prime coat. Okay. Available in several different finishes, available in a variety of different sizes. Let's talk about the link to the cut sheet below this video. But before we do that, where do you use wide throw hinges? Lots of installations actually would require them, and not necessarily only with doors. You could have an instance, speaking of doors, the most common is where you have an exterior door that swings out, or an interior door for that matter, that has to get out and around unusually thick casing or brick mold. A 7 inch hinge, a 4x7 compared to a 4x4, is 3 inches wider, and hinges are measured when they're laid open. Well, when the hinge is closed, that means it shifts the axis of pivoting out another 1.5 inches. Okay, 1.5 inches out. So calculate that when you are determining what you need. 7 inch wide is pretty wide, and it will get you out and around a lot of stuff because you're getting an additional 3 inch actually of clearance when you're doing that. So keep that in mind. Another application is you could have a door that's inset further into the frame than standard. When you stand on the pull side of a door and you rub your hand across the door and the face of the frame, the door is inset ever so slightly, about 3/32 of an inch. Well, what if you kick that in 1.5 inches? 1.5 inches. Just to make the door work properly, you'd need a 7 inch hinge. Not a lot of people do that. However, there's lots of places where you'll see it. You can't hardly walk into a very old home and not see exceptionally thick walls. I've seen it in the original Capitol building in the state of Florida where they've got 18 inch walls because there was no steel in the construction of the original Capitol building 150 years ago. Forgive me, Iowa. Did I say Florida? It's the state of Iowa. I don't remember the year the Capitol was built. Plantation homes in the south, 3-story homes, very thick walls. They've got doors set in the center. I've seen these wide throw hinges that are like 6x16. So those are applications, while they're extreme, is where you'd use it. Also, you might be doing windows, and you've got windows in an exterior brick wall. Windows are kicked in naturally. You want the windows to open up past 90, maybe even all the way around. To get out and around the brick of the face brick of the building, you'll need a wide throw hinge. If you're thinking of wide throw hinges, maybe think about extended lip strike plates as well. You might need that. Now, the link to the cut sheet. It's going to show a column of steel hinges. Let's talk about that first. Your 5,000, your 5010, which is a wide throw, your 8,000, which is the same thing as this but 3 knuckle, your BBs, ball bearing, and LB for lube bearing, a maintenance-free sort of concealed bearing by Bommer. Then you've got your column of brass or bronze hinges. That's when the hinge is made of brass or bronze, not steel. Your architectural finishes will call out what the base material is. Your bronzes are on bronze naturally. Your brasses are on brass. Chrome, satin chrome, polished chrome, that'd be on brass as well. Stainless steel hinges, both polished and stainless steel hinges are used in applications where they require a corrosion sort of resistant base material, which stainless steel is used. Maybe a polished, maybe they need something non-ferrous, etc. Used in coastal applications, you know, steel hinge is going to rust with exposure to sea salt naturally. That cut sheet also shows everything important dimensionally about the location of the screw holes. This is called template pattern. It's the common pattern. Also that the leaf thickness is 130 thousandths thick. Important to know when you're determining mortise depths on your door and frame. Let's talk about some other options that we've not already discussed. This is square corner. You can order them 1/4 inch radius, 5/8 radius. It's an upcharge, but you can get them radius corners. The tips, that's called the button tip. You can order it with decorative tips like ball tip being the most common, urn tip, steeple tip, acorn tip is naturally there's an upcharge for decorative tips. Security pin options. This is a removable pin. Would not be appropriate for use in an exterior application where you want to prevent someone from driving the pin out. You can do a non-removable pin. You can do a security stud. You know, if it's an outside door, you'll want to protect that pin from being tampered with. As I said before, different architectural finishes are also available, and all of the other options referred to, or configuration possibilities referred to on the cut sheet, base material, bearing, etc. Quantity of knuckles as well. The last thing I'd like to point out to you will be the Bommer logo. Right above it, it says Made in USA, a fact that Bommer is quite proud of, as am I to be a distributor for them. Any questions on the Bommer number 5010-407-600, wide throw hinge, or any other Bommer product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.